Let's start with the prompt. Which choice effectively uses data from the graph to complete the example? So what's the example? Let's read. These researchers surveyed small-scale farmers in 3 locations in an area which has mountainous terrain in the north, an urbanized center, and coastal terrain in the south, to learn more about their practices, like the types of crops they mainly cultivated. In some regions, female farmers were found to be especially prominent in the cultivation of specific types of crops, and even constituted the majority of farmers who cultivated these crops. For instance, so we're looking for the idea that female farmers were especially prominent for specific types of crops and were even the majority for those crops. So let's start looking through the data now to see where we can back that up. So we see female farmers as a percent of the total, and we're looking for where were females particularly prominent or even the majority. Well, particularly prominent in the majority is clearly this high bar, which is the non-root vegetables. So for non-root vegetables, females were more than 50% in 2 of the areas, and were still very substantial in the 3rd area, Central Ondo. So let's start looking at the answers now. A, most of the farmers who mainly cultivated cereals and most of the farmers who mainly cultivated non-root root vegetables in South Ondo were women. Well, cereals is wrong. We're looking for non-root vegetables, so we can get rid of A. B, more women in Central Ondo mainly cultivated root crops than mainly cultivated cereals. That may or may not be true, but we're looking to find out that women were especially prominent. In other words, more women than men. So that statement there doesn't do anything to support that claim. C, most of the farmers who mainly cultivated non-root vegetables in North and South Ondo were women. That's perfect because North Ondo and South Ondo, both of them were most of the farmers because it was more than 50% as a percentage of the total. But here in this 3rd bar in Central Ondo, they were pretty close, although they weren't most of them. And that's exactly what C says. Most of them doing the non-root vegetables in North and South Ondo were women, and it perfectly left out Central Ondo. So let's look at D. Just to wrap up, a relatively equal proportion of women across the 3 regions of Ondo mainly cultivated cereals. Well, we weren't really looking at cereals to begin with anyway, so we can easily get rid of D. And the answer is going to be C.